everyone. Welcome to Master Powercast. This is round 2 of our power rating. So the first time around, Tyler, 9 participants last time. We're going to keep it 9 at this go around. But I want to give everyone an update. I don't have a super awesome graphic to kind of for you to see it visually. So I will just tell you this way. Tyler, your top rated character sitting number 1 for you after round 1 is Roboto with 37 out of 40, but actually is in a tie with Cobra Khan, who also has 37 out of 40. After that, Modulok with 35, Spikor with 29, Extendar with 29, Trapjaw with 29, Tongue Lasher with 28, Man-at-Arms 27, and Mosquito 27. So a lot of ties on your...
Yeah, I guess I had an idea thinking that Modulok was going to be my number 1 winner, but he was almost there.
Yeah, well, Modulok is actually number 1 for me, sitting at 36 out of 40, followed by Roboto with 35, Cobra Khan with 34, Trapjaw with 30. So Trapjaw a little higher on my list. Extendar 29, Man-at-Arms 27, Spikor 27, Mosquito 27, and Tongue Lasher coming in at 26. So dead last on mine, but yours was second or third to last.
Who was my dead last?
Mosquito 27.
Mosquito.
Yeah, Mosquito was next to last for me. So next time around, after we do round 2, I'll make sure to make a good fancy graphic so everyone can see visually where.
God, in a perfect world, we'd have someone doing like illustrations of each character, and then we could put like the power, like make a trading card.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Yeah, that would be the ideal, man.
Yeah. And speaking of ideal, and in case any of you guys were wondering, this is a recording. We are not live. So hopefully, if this gets posted, if all this goes well, because last week, for whatever reason, our issue that we had a few weeks ago of having glitchy audio and video persisted for quite some time on the last episode. I was pretty bummed out about it. I let Tyler and James know just how bummed out about it I was. But we decided, regardless, we're going to leave that episode up, warts and all, because we never want to hide from any of that. But we're going to try this recording thing out and see how this works out. If this works out better, this might kind of be the way that we go pushing forward. I'm not going to say, like, if this goes well, it's like, you know what, going live is just absolute. We're never going to do it again. But recording does kind of have its positives to it. I can go in, edit stuff around it, maybe clip stuff out if we have to. We'll see how this goes. I'm hoping
it'll make it look more polished,
Well,
having the opportunity to go back and adjust or cut this or we will not cut any mistakes that we make in terms of our discussions. Like if I screw up a fact, I'm like, no, we ain't doing that shit. I know people have done that on other podcasts in the past where if they screw up, they want it to make it look like their image is so clean and pure that they never fuck up.
No, we're not going to censor it in that regard. It's just going to be a thing where Tyler's like, I got to go to the bathroom. Then I'm like, all right, we can pause the recording and then restart when he comes back. So it will have some positives. Of course, the major drawback is not getting some of the questions that we would get from you guys in the chat. So that's why it'll be important if this particular episode makes it to air and the audio and video are good, then make sure to leave some comments on it. That way we got stuff to read out for the next episode. But Tyler, with all that being said, let's just dive on in. So here are the participants. So Tyler, if you want to start from bottom to top or top to bottom, go ahead and read off who we have here on round 2.
We'll start at the top there with my favorite babe of the Princess of Power mythology, Frosta. Followed by Grizzlor, Ninjor, Ramman, Rockon, Snakeface, Stratos, Tila, and Triclops.
Yeah, so as we stated during round 1, if you look there at the top, Fisto's Fist representing strength. We have, I forget, it's like...
the Book of Living Spells.
There you go, the Book of Living Spells. I just simply know it as the book that came with Eldor in the Classics line, but that represents our intelligence. Of course, He-Man in this running pose is kind of that mixture of endurance, speed,
agility.
It's kind of all-encompassing of just how athletic they are. And then, of course, We have a Scareglow, which is going to be their special ability that they have. How is that going to rank? Of course, goes from 1 to 10, so the max would be 40. And I kind of wonder, aside from maybe He-Man, if anyone will come close to that mark, because we're in the high 30s, but we're not like right there on the cusp of perfection.
Yeah.
So
and I think I don't know if we ever felt we were going to include like the top tier of like the leaders of each faction, your He-Man, your Skeletor, your King Hiss, your Hordak.
Eventually, I think we have to, because we said we would cover everybody.
Yeah, and I got to make sure we got to include some new Adventures members as well, like some of the mutants, some of the Galactic Guardians as well. Not Galactic Protectors, because I don't give a shit about the shitty movies. They're the Galactic Guardians, you know. Even though Guardians of the Galaxy came out way back in the 70s first, the heroes in the New Adventures of He-Man are still the Galactic Guardians to me.
All right. Well, hey, you do you, buddy.
I'm doing me.
Where do you want to start? Do you want to start with Frosta, or do you want to bounce around a little bit?
We'll bounce around a little bit just for the sake of mixing it. Let's start with Stratos.
All right, everyone's favorite Birdman. Tyler, started. What would you give strength for Stratos?
I give him probably because the guy can fly, and he does have rocket boosters on there to enhance his flying abilities. He's the leader of his people, so he has a high level of intelligence. He's not like I wouldn't say he's massively super strong or anything like that. But we're talking about Master of the Universe here. Everyone's got a pretty significant level of strength. Strength level, I'm gonna probably give Stratos a 6.
Okay. Go ahead and move that. I'm kind of with you on that. I don't think Stratos, obviously not the strongest of the bunch. I think most of his higher count kind of comes from his ability that he has, which we'll get to shortly.
Mm-hmm.
Probably going to go a little bit lower on Stratos. I think I'm going to hit the middle ground. I'm going to give him a 5.
Okay, that's respectable.
Yeah, I'm not going to quite put him over the hump there. But in terms, Tyler, of intelligence, Stratos seems like a fairly intelligent guy.
Yeah, I'd probably give him a 9 because he is the leader of the bird people of Avion, however you want to pronounce it there. One of the original heroes. I definitely feel like he's like one of the most respected confidants that the heroic warriors have got. Someone who's very well respected. So he'd have to be pretty damn smart, I think, in terms of how he, rules Avion and interacts with the rest of the heroic warriors. So yeah, I give him a 9 by far.
All right, I'm gonna go once again a little step lower. I'm gonna go with an 8. Like, you do have to be pretty smart to lead a bunch of people, but I think when I'm really starting to break it down and I'm thinking about some of the other characters, I can't quite go.
I would probably give Man-at-Arms and Modulok higher level of intelligence, of course, and He-Man and all that. But I'd probably say the same thing for Buzz-Off when we get around to him. Buzz-Off leads his people too, so I'd probably give him a strong 9 too. If you're the leader of your own people in this mythology, you have to have a high level of intelligence.
Yeah.
So 8 or 9, yeah, that's it. That's a good ranking.
And I guess the last two categories here are going to sort of, in a way, go hand in hand, I would think, because in terms of agility and speed, that kind of ties in to his special, as it were. So
yeah, but Stratos is kind of they do blend together. I mean, the guy can fly, and not too many people can do that in Master Universe. There's no evil warrior that can fly. There's no horseman that can fly. There's no snake man that can fly. Technically, if I had my brothers, I'd have some of these guys. I would give Mosquito, the ability to fly. And I'd have to give Skeletor his own guy that could fly too. But Stratos has got an ability that is just not readily available. So I'm going to give the ability to fly. That's pretty strong. I'm gonna go with my gut. I'm gonna give him a 10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's pretty strong.
No, not too many people have got it. A lot of people are very strong, but not everybody can fly.
And then right out of the gate too, no less. So you've already used your first 10. And looking back on it, I need to go back and watch that. Actually, I think somewhere I had the graphic of I had it saved. I'm trying to remember if I used a 10 last time. I may not have. But Tyler out of the gate with a 10. Man, that's kind of.
I mean, looking at the roster, I don't know. I mean, there's a couple I would just love to give it just out of personal preference, but we get it breaking it down here. There'll be a couple of 10s going out, but not a ton.
Yeah. I mean, you make a great point that he's one of the few out of the roster of characters that we're going to cover that does have that ability to fly. But I can't quite give it that 10 just yet.
I'm not going to argue that. You know, some people may not see the ability to fly as that big a deal in Master of the Universe.
Well, and that kind of ties in with that. Our last category being the special ability. You take that into account. Is that a big deal to you compared to everyone else in Master of the Universe?
I mean, you know, I don't put Stratus in my top 5, you know, so I look at others, you know, that for what they can do. Because of that, I'll give him a 7.
Okay. Yeah, I got to thinking about it. I'm like, what else is going to kind of factor into this last category? Should we take into account like how cool it is too? Like if it's cool enough,
you know, and I think that's due to personal preference. Like I may look at it completely different. You may just see it as really cool. I may say it's just more. This is really significant though. Yeah. You know, like as we break this down, like what these characters can do of agility. I mean, like I said, Stratus is a unique character because his gimmick is also part of his strength and his ability, his agility, and
I'm glad that you said that because I've been saying special and it's like gimmick. Gimmick is what I think I was looking for and trying to find the word.
Special. I mean, you could call it special move, like a video game reference, or gimmick.
No,
gimmick.
Gimmicky. Gimmick. Yeah, we got to stick with the gimmick. I'm also going to agree with you. I think 7's a good landing spot. So I'm going a little bit lower on Stratos than you are. But who would you like to go with next?
Let's go with Ninjor.
Oh, all right, Ninjor.
Yeah,
so the strength of Ninjor. I think he's got to be pretty strong.
Fuck yeah! Like, and not saying that he can pick up Castle Grayskull or anything like that, and he's not looked upon as like a brute of a guy like a Whiplash or a Clawful or a Ram Man. But I mean, we're talking about a ninja, and not everybody can do what he does. I mean, this is a silent assassin here, so. I'm going to give him, in terms of strength-wise, an 8.
I was actually thinking that exact same thing as you're talking. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to give Ninjor an 8 because it's like he's on the cusp of being one of the best in terms of strength.
Yeah, and I think as we go deeper into the ranking, though, I'm probably going to give him higher than 8 because of he's a fucking ninja.
Yeah, he is a ninja. So in terms of intelligence, I mean, got to be pretty smart. I'm not saying like all ninjas are like hyper intelligent.
You don't reach the level, and based on what we know and how we view ninjas in movies and the ninja mythology, depending on what you want from G.I. Joe to the canon ninja films, whatever your preference may be, Ninja Turtles. Ninjas are typically supposed to be of a higher level of intelligence to be able to do what they can do. So I'm probably going to give him an 8 for intelligence.
Yeah, I was thinking either 7 or 8. I think 7 would probably be too low. Mm-hmm. So I'm also going to give him an 8. So far, halfway through this, you and I on equal ground in terms of his agility. I mean, it's got to be a 9 or a 10.
Yeah, I mean, again, he is unique because even though Jitsu is master of the martial arts, he is not a ninja. So I'm probably going to give that edge to Ninjor in terms of what he can do. I'm going to give him a 10.
Tyler using once again.
Yeah.
Another 10 for
I always view ninjas, because of my love for, Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow and the Ninja Force and Ninja Turtles and Daredevil and the Hand. Like, I love me some ninjas, and I always hold them in the highest regard. So we have one ninja in Master of the Universe. So I will not be just like, he doesn't belong in He-Man. He's not a barbarian.
Well, Tyler, I'm going to give him a 10 too.
I'll be damned.
And in terms of gimmick, I mean, gimmick is ninja.
Yeah, he's a ninja.
Yeah, so...
and, nunchucks, bow and arrow, katana, throwing stars. I mean, I imagine anything you could throw at that would work within the He-Man mythology. I mean, bow and arrow, katana, and nunchucks are what the character came with. I mean, right there, those are, Storm Shadow's weapons. So, you look at it that way, we have what Storm Shadow can do, but, in massive universe. And I feel like that's, I'm going to give him a 9.
No, a 9. I'm surprised you didn't go 10 on that.
Well, I'm trying not to get completely because I could give 10s to damn near everybody.
You're trying not to fanboy too much. For
yeah. I want to be a little bit more broken down. I want to have some more depth to my perception here, and not just be like, oh my god, it's all awesome, because it is.
I think this might be the first time so far between the 2 rounds that you and I are going to tie on a particular character. We'll see if that continues on the next one. Who would you like to go with now?
Let's take on Teela.
All right. Interesting choice. And the first of the 2 females that we have here on the list.
We wanted to make sure this was not a sausage fest again.
Well, in terms of strength, I mean, you got to be pretty strong to be up there in the Royal Guard.
And to lead the Royal Guard, too.
Yeah.
So she has got to, hold her own against, all men. So I think because of that, I'm going to give her a 7.
7. It's honestly that seems a little low, I think.
Really? I mean,
for strength.
I don't look at. I mean, when I think of I look at she's not one to be picking up heavy objects. It's more about like her training of like hand-to-hand combat with weapons and staff and if she was going one-on-one with Evelyn based on physicality, she kicked the shit out of Evelyn.
Right.
But in terms of like doing what the majority of the heroic warriors can do, she strictly relies on hand-to-hand combat. She has no special skills outside of like she's great in hand-to-hand combat. That is her special skill, and she is obviously intelligent to lead the Royal Guard. But we'll break that down here once we get to the next. Once you get yours.
I'm gonna go a little bit higher. I'm gonna give her an 8. Yeah, because I think in order to lead, it kind of goes back to what you're saying with Stratos in terms of intelligence. I kind of look the same way with Teela for strength, because in order to do what she does and lead in the Royal Guard, you gotta be the best in terms.
You gotta be top tier by.
And I think that's going to kind of play into her intelligence as well. As easily got to be pretty high up there.
Well, and then I think about how rash she is at times.
True,
she's very quick to like think about like I deserve to go to, like, no, that's not your job right now. She's like, I don't care. Like that's where I feel like what we know of the character as opposed to how the character should be written is like, she should be written a lot more intelligent as opposed to like, I'm going to go do what the boys are doing kind of thing.
Right.
Which is how she's often depicted in Filmation. I think it does her a disservice. So, but because she is captain of the guard, she is holds one of the highest levels of respect in the Royal Palace and on Eternia for what she can do. I'm going to give her an 8 for intelligence, because I really feel like if the character was portrayed correctly, she would be a high level of intelligence.
I wasn't thinking about the rash aspect and how she is quick to jump.
And hot-headed. She can be very brash about like, and I don't see it as like, it's because I'm a woman. Is it? No, you're a woman leading the Royal Guard. The fact that you're a woman has nothing to do with this. We need you to stay here and man this. If we need you, we'll call you. And she's like, no, I don't want to do that. That's boring. It's like, no. That's where I feel like some of the inconsistencies of how Filmation would portray her oftentimes didn't do the character any favors at times.
I was tempted to drop a little bit lower and go to 7, but I'm going to agree with you and keep it at an 8, because if the character was written a little bit better, she would land in a bit of a higher spot. But I do have to take into account, like, it's got to be up there. I think 7 is just a little bit too low, because even though she is rash in decision making and she's hot-headed, sometimes I think that can play to your benefit.
It could, and now if it was played up as she is rising the ranks to become captain of the guard and learns to control that, like, had that be part of her personality, but that needs to be something she needs to overcome. I would keep it, but make it part of her arc of becoming more mature for something that is like this is a very, unique and special role for the character. Like it should not be just thrown aside as just like it's just a title to get to the character, and just let her be as immature as possible when it comes to decision making.
I would like to actually see something like a little mini series of her rise up the ranks.
I would too.
That would be awesome, but we're not going to go down that rabbit hole. It's like I don't think that they would be capable.
Well, nobody today.
Good.
Yeah. We obviously the person who was more infatuated with the women of He-Man did his version, and it fucking sucked.
In terms of her agility and speed, endurance, that's got to be pretty high up there.
Because of that, I give her a 9. Yeah, Captain of the Guard. You're an ass kicker. You're a royal ass kicker.
I am going to agree with you on that, and also give her a 9. And then in terms of her gimmick, it's hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah, it's a battle tactician. If she's going to be leading the guards into battle, she has to be able to, plan strategy, because Man-at-Arms is can't always be there. I feel like it's going to fall back on her, so she has to be ready to go. When things, shit's going down, the palace is being attacked, or the king's being threatened, or something like that. So,
I'm gonna go.
I can't put her in this mythology where you've got superhuman characters. I'm gonna give her a 7 because she's strong, but I'm like, she's not Fisto. She's not, and I hold Man-at-Arms in a higher level of all those over her, because he's the one that trained her.
Yeah, I'm gonna give her a 6. I'm gonna go a little bit lower.
Okay.
Because obviously she thrives in her fighting abilities, but then when you kind of break it down, like the gimmick part of Teela, right? It's like, all right, she's got that, and then she can be a bitch sometimes. So
yes, that
and then obviously it's like we're comparing. I mean, look, we got Triclops on here, we got Ram Man on here, and you're thinking about their gimmicks. Like, obviously, Teela's got to be a little bit lower.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We're not, because look, if we didn't like the character, she would be ranking so much lower. On everything, but that's not the case. You have to look at this as like, this is what we got. Breaking it all down like that, yes. Yeah. The character has got a shit ton of merit and deserves one of the highest places in the mythology. But breaking down what she can do, she's limited because she is human.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she doesn't have the brain of Man-at-Arms, or the skills that he has mentally or physically. But if she can lead the guard, she can hold her own. But look, with everyone we got here, like, we can't have her.
Yeah, I agree.
Up there with the rest of the boys.
Well, speaking of which, you want to go with another one of the boys, or would you want to?
We'll go back to one of the guys then. Let's see. Let's go with Ram Man.
All right, Ram Man. In terms of strength, he's pretty strong. Pretty strong boy.
Pretty fucking strong. Yeah. Give him a 9. The guy's willing to ram his head into damn near everything without hesitation. Like, he's got balls big enough to come in a dump truck, as Terry Funk would say.
I'm going to go with a 9 as well. In terms of intelligence, Ram Man is not the smartest.
No, he's not.
Character in the mythology.
And I'm not going to give him a 1 or 2. I'm going to give him a 3, because 3, he's not highly intelligent, but he's lovable because of it. So I'm going to give him a 3, because I love Filmation Ram Man. He's a sweetheart of a guy. The kind of guy you would love to pal around with, because he's just, naive, but still lovable.
He's lovable, but he is pretty dumb. I'm gonna give him a 2.
Yeah.
I can't quite go to 1, so
no, 1 would be like too insulting to the character's intelligence. Like, yeah, but he is one of the few that actually kind of put together. I've never seen you, Prince Adam, and He-Man together. Like, hey.
Well, I think that's the beauty of the writing. It's like, let's take one of the dumber characters and have that character be the one that actually says it out loud. I'm sure everyone's thinking it, but Ram Man's the one that's going to be.
He just comes out and says, like, him of all people's putting this together here.
Yeah. In terms of endurance and speed, Ram Man's pretty good. Not like upper echelon for me. I think I would give him, in terms of that, Because he does seem like he would tire out pretty easily too.
Well, I guess it depends. If people look at like the big brute version of Ram Man or the more smaller in stature Ram Man. Ram Man is, he's it's like, let's get up and go, let's do this. Like, he's not one to hesitate about going into battle. I'm ready to go. I think he could go, like, he can go the distance. I think for the most part. I mean, we are talking about a guy who uses his head for his weapon,
Right?
so he's got to be pretty, spry. So I'm going to give him 7.
Yeah, that's kind of the landing spot I was looking for him to. Maybe a 6, but I'm gonna go with 7. And then in terms of his gimmick,
it's a great gimmick. It's a memorable gimmick. It's a simple gimmick, but it's definitely one of the mainstays of the mythology is Ram Man. I'll probably give him a 7 for the gimmick.
I'm surprised you didn't go a little bit higher, to be honest.
I thought about maybe an 8, but then I think about some of the other gimmicks that I'm just such a massive fan of.
I like the gimmick quite. I'm gonna go just a step beyond and go with for him. So I think the intelligence part is what's really gonna like put Ram Man on the lower tier of this power rating. At least through 2 rounds. We'll see where he lands collectively when we get to round 3 down the road. But Tyler, who you want?
Next, let's tackle the keeper of the Fright Zone, the Grizzlor of the prison. The prison of the Fright Zone is watched over by Grizzlor. Let's tackle him, the hairy henchman.
All right, Harry and the Hendersons.
Yeah. Strength wise, he's a badass, man. Mm-hmm. I'm probably I'm going to give him a 9 strength wise. I look at Grizzlor as one of the most formidable horsemen.
He does do a good job of holding his own in situations. I mean, he's gone toe to toe with quite a few characters, and like he's not defeated easily.
No, and that's what I love about the character. Like, I mean, he's just a brute. I mean, I'm not gonna sit there and say he's gonna win an IQ test or anything like that. But the guy does what he's told. His duty is to beat the shit out of people who try to get away.
I'm also going to give him a 9. He's got to be up there. But you said his IQ is not the best. So in terms of intelligence,
but and I think too, I think if I had my way, very few characters like Ram Man would be portrayed as lower of intelligence, just because I feel like that's the mainstay of the character. I would not like to see Grizzlor depicted as a moron. I just something that ferocious. I feel like it needs to be a little bit more smarter.
Well, we also got to take into account, if you want to think about Extendar and you go to the Star comic, I think it was in the Star comic, right? That Grizzlor was the one that was leading the experiment on Extendar. So
I think so. And also, it depends, because, the mini comics portray him as a lot more, he's just vicious, he's not dumb.
Yeah.
But the, Filmation, they have him, cower in fear at Catra and things like that, and oftentimes be an idiot, and I don't subscribe to that. I love the visual of him in Filmation, but I guess I'm probably just going to give him a 5. I don't have an image and sit there and say that the character is unintelligent, because someone that looks like him, I would portray him like how he looked in 2000X when he shows up in that shitty episode, The Power of Grayskull. He just has the look of an intelligent horseman. Mm-hmm. He doesn't strike me as a type who's just, pointing. He just, okay, I'll just do that.
Yeah, just grunts.
Yeah.
I gotta once again agree with you. 5 good middle ground in between. It's like he's not dumb, but he's not hyper intelligent either.
Yeah,
so 5's like a good.
And I wouldn't want to see him as super intelligent, but I just like to see him as someone that if someone was trying to escape, like, he's always aware. Like, he's watching people, make him maybe even give him a glimmer of hope, because he enjoys toying with people who think they got a chance of escaping the Fright Zone.
Well, in the event that someone is trying to get away, he's got to be pretty fast
and strong.
and strong, and his endurance has got to be up there. His agility seems pretty. Like I think in terms of that, I'm torn between an 8 or a 9.
I'm going to give him an 8.
Yeah, because I think 9 might be pushing it too far. It's like you said in terms of intelligence and everything too. It's like you can't tick it up there.
Yeah, I feel like if
all
I give
the
him a
way
9, that's going too far. I think for the character, like he's definitely one of the biggest brutes of the horde. But I think about what Leech can do compared to what Grizzler can do. Like Leech is a big hulking creature that if he grabs the hold, he can drain you. Grizzler can just tear you to pieces. So I guess it depends on your perspective, you know.
Well, and speaking of which, gimmick wise, it's kind of there's not a lot to Grizzler
No,
when
it's
you're thinking like
just
gimmick.
his ferocity and what he does. I think because of that, I give him a 7.
You've given a lot of 7s in the gimmick department on this.
Yeah, because I feel like some of them, like, they're very respectable, but they're not like, upper echelon. They're not cyclone strength. They're not, Modulok intelligence. They're not, Roboto's, full scale arsenal.
Yeah. When I start thinking about that, I'm like, yeah, there's not a lot to Grizzler.
Yeah,
like
and six is good.
He's awesome, but it's like comparatively to.
And part of me says I've loved Grizzler since I was a child. I have a love for the character, so I'm cool with 7 because I have a little bit of my love for the characters kind of mixed in with that a little bit.
And apologies for using this version of him. I was going to use the other, but it was a little difficult to Photoshop around like all the
fur, all the fur,
sticking. I'm like, yeah, those would be easier to do. Man, we only got 4 more left. Kind of blowing through this one.
Let's go with Snakeface.
I feel like you're saving. You got to save Triclops for last.
Yeah, I am.
Strength for Snakeface. I feel like Snakeface. It's kind of more about the gimmick as opposed to every other category
and
here.
When he's depicted very, very briefly in the Rise of the Snake Man, he's very quick and fast in hand-to-hand combat, which I did enjoy that. Like he, I didn't like the character always relying on the Medusa, effect. Mm-hmm. That he is very fast in hand-to-hand combat, like because he's a snake man, but he's not. Like I'll save this for like a further discussion, but I felt like he was a mortal that was turned into, a servant to the snake man, like a very handsome dude who, exploited and would manipulate people and fucked over the wrong person, and because of that was turned into.
I like that kind of backstory. Like it puts the tragedy to it there, but it's also like he was deserving of it.
Yeah,
so
because I feel
like
don't feel bad Medusa, for him. She was turned out of like pure jealousy from Aphrodite. Like this guy's an asshole, and would use and manipulate his natural like gifts, just like fuck you, and turn into someone that can never look a woman in the eye again, and use his looks to get his ways and things like that.
All right, much like last week, write that. Make a story.
I actually have thought about trying to work because I was working on the backstory and the history of Hero and Preternia, how the Snake Men come in, the rise of the Three Towers, and wanted to work in that Snakeface as a mortal at first, and would side with King Hiss and the Snake Men. Is all part of that. Like he starts as a mortal of like the Snake Clan, and I don't know. I haven't gone into any great detail about it because it's more about setting up Hero of the Three Towers, even how the dinosaurs really come into being such a pivotal part of the story. There's no fucking technovirus. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm loving it. Get that. Yeah.
Well, and. I'm waiting because Kevin Sharp is doing a mini comic cover for that concept.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
So he's actually going to be hopefully finishing it up this week. So,
well, look for that episode down the road. We'll give you the mini comic cover, and Tyler will give you a story to it. So Snakeface, though, in terms of strength,
I don't see him as, you look at what Tongue Lasher can do, Rattler, Squeeze. They all come off like a lot more stronger. I'm going to give Snakeface a 6.
That's what I was thinking too. I was almost towards 7, but I'm starting to think I'm like, oh, we have to. We gave Tila 7 and 8, so obviously it's like thinking hand-to-hand combat.
I get, because I feel like 6 is like average. Is like, he's a snake man. He can, he's not an actual snake.
Yeah,
but I still think he could be good in hand-to-hand combat. Not average.
Yeah. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna knock him down on my end, and I'm gonna give him 5.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
because he's like I said, I'm only going by that because that's the only thing he ever really got is Snakeface, because they relied so much on his gimmick in the mini comics, and that's it. Like, he's not given much else to do. I'm like, no, there should be more to that character, and MYP wasted him really quickly too, which is bullshit.
In terms of intelligence too,
for my idea though, like, he would have to be very intelligent because of how manipulative he would be with people, to get the punishment that he got. This is just for my own made-up personal backstory.
Right.
No, he is not known to be. I mean, none of the Snake Men are.
But do you think though that personality, when he was in that form, would kind of change and alter a little bit once he's in the snake face form? Though?
I feel like the mind would be there, but he wouldn't be able to use it the same way because his looks, and the ability to approach people and manipulate and be suave would be irrelevant anymore, because his skin is snake-like.
Yeah.
And knowing that, all he's got to do is spit those snakes out of his eyes and his mouth, and just like, I'll give him a 6 for intelligence.
Yeah, I was actually thinking the same thing. It's like maybe 5 for intelligence is a little too low, but at the same time too, it's like you said, there's not a lot really that we have to base the character on necessarily, other than the gimmick.
I would personally like to make him like King Hissa's right-hand man in terms of like his most prestigious confidant, like Tongue Lasher, Squeeze, Rattler, all strong brutes. But I look at Snakeface because he was once mortal, and because of his place in the society back then. Like, King Hiss looks at him as like one of his much more intelligent, warriors.
No, but Tyler, this is all just based off of your story.
Oh yeah, people come and say, the powers that be in Metallica say, I'm full of shit, man. I'm like John Denver.
I thought the Rocky Mountains would be a little rockier than this.
That John Denver's full of shit, man.
I need to watch Dumb and Dumber again.
Me too.
I kind of just want to start quoting it some more as we continue on with the episode. Once again, going to the endurance, agility, speed portion of it, it's like I feel like I don't know enough about him to really project a certain number of what he is.
And because of his character is known for the gimmick, there's nothing. There hasn't been any, where you could say the same thing about Clanchant, but at least Clanchant's, like the ability to enhance senses. He's a tactician. He is King Randall's bodyguard. He's got to be good.
We've been given a little more substance to what Clamp-Champ is capable of, and with Snakeface, it's just all we know is he
turns people to stone.
That's it. The snakes pop out. You turn to stone. Yeah. Like, I don't want to go too low with this because I think that he's more than capable of being speedy and everything.
I'll give him the mark of the beast, a 6.
And we're gonna get those guys on here. They're gonna watch that and man.
Yeah, I told you it was demonic, witchcraft, devil.
And then it's gonna be man. Maybe I'll find that clip. I'll put this in post. I'm gonna cut to the clip of the one guy playing with Snake Mountain.
Skeletor, the master of the universe.
All right.
And then people at Mattel will be like, see, they don't need to watch those guys. They're devil worshippers.
I'm just gonna give him a 5 because I'm gonna like kind of ride the middle line with him, and
I can't dispute that.
I missed out on the Mark of the Beast like you did. Gimmick wise, though, man, like I'm gonna be a little biased on this just because I love Medusa and everything.
Me too.
I'm gonna go a 9. I don't think I'm gonna quite pull the trigger on a 10 for this, but I'm gonna go 9.
I'm gonna give him a 10 because I fucking love Medusa, and the fact that he can turn people to stone, which I've often thought too, like it almost makes him too powerful because of what he can do.
Absolutely.
Like
you mentioned that before when we've talked about the Snake Men in general, and most of the time I say that Snakeface is my favorite mostly because of that, and you kind of shift more towards what was it, Squeeze?
Squeeze is my favorite, yeah.
Yeah, and most of the reasoning was just because you found that Snakeface, it's like, all right, he's got this gimmick, but that kind of boxes him in as a character and what you can do with that.
Yeah,
most of the time it's like
it pretty much makes him like, unless everyone's walking around with a mirror, he pretty much shuts everyone down. And I almost feel like I got why they went that way, and I love that they did that with the character, but it makes him, like I said, I think too powerful in the sense that, where he can turn anyone to stone, any of the Snake Men, like anyone that pisses him off, he just looks at him, and it's like I almost feel like I think the viciousness of his appearance, snakes come out of his mouth and his eyes, and just, even though because I look about because Medusa is a solo character. She's by herself. She has no friends. She that's kind of one of the torments of the character.
Yeah.
Whereas this guy, I feel like, if he's gonna be a bad guy, he needs to be an asshole before this transformation.
Yeah.
Like Calabas in Clash of the Titans. He's an asshole and deserves what he got.
Yeah.
That's
so I guess
it's this guy.
I guess it's one of those things too, that it's like Snakeface would work best if he's kind of isolated, much like Medusa is, instead of being part of the Snake Men, when you really start to think about it in terms of like storytelling.
Yeah, that he would have to be. I mean, when you have someone that can do what he does, like in your ranks, like you kind of take away any kind of like threat.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you think about it, it's like Man-at-Arms and He-Man got to go find the Time Stone, and who's protecting the Time Stone?
Snakeface is guarding the Time Stone, and Man-at-Arms like, luckily I brought my shit stain remover, for backup, and
it has this little tiny mirror at the end of it, and it's somehow
and just like this, and it's like, I almost feel like just taking away turning people to stone, and just say this guy who was human is just deformed now.
Maybe instead of turning to stone, it's more like it's like when the snakes come out, it puts you into a state to where you're
hypnotized or something.
You're hypnotized, or you're frozen like stone. You don't actually turn to stone.
Or it plays up like fear. Like, even though Scareglow is meant to scare people, like I would play him up more as like a conjurer of fear itself. Not Scareglow or a Scarecrow where he's he's going to exploit your greatest fear. Like, that's been done to death.
Right.
And it was cool. It was done in the Power of Fear comic, but I want to feel like someone who's this scary looking guy who would just conjure up creepy things, and almost do his own thing. Or I'm getting so far off track here. What the hell is my point?
No, I just that they rely too much on that gimmick, which is awesome.
And if I was like, hey Tyler, do what you want, I would take away turning people to stone and just make the visual of this terrifying guy that has just frightens people.
I think it's just he paralyzes you with fright, and that makes you an open target to any of the other Snake Men. Like, you're paralyzed from Snakeface, and then here comes Squeeze to squeeze
someone who could maybe use to interrogate people.
Maybe
the snakes that emit from his face are poisonous snakes.
True.
If they because Rattler, Tongue Lasher. I mean, Tongue Lasher too is his gimmick, at least in one issue, was that if his tongue hits your body, it kind of encases you in like this stone-like substance almost, where
Yeah.
you ain't getting out of it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like another, not full stone, but kind of the same ballpark. And I feel like, the tongue is the gimmick. He wraps around your neck, you can't breathe, or like pulls your arm back from attacking. I think Snakeface should be more about emitting poisonous snakes from his face to scare the hell out of people. And if he gets close enough, man, like poisonous snakes just like plunk 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 right all over your face. And it's like in Kill Bill when Michael Madsen gets hit with that black mamba multiple times in the face.
Dude, let me since you mentioned that, next month you've seen that the Whole Bloody Affair is going to be in theaters.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I think it's going to have some new scenes added into it, like cut scenes interjected in. I think there might be a new anime sequence as well added. And I saw it. Yeah, so it's like you go watch the whole thing, but runtime, of course, is like 4.5 hours. Oof. I imagine that there will have to be an intermission in between films, I would think.
I'm like, I can't go to the movies for that, having to go to the bathroom at least once. So it's just, and I knowing I can't go without having to scream at somebody to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, Tyler and his terrible movie experiences. That one would probably be really, really awful. So here's hoping that maybe we'll finally, much like they did with Grindhouse, maybe we'll get that on disc. The Whole
that would
Bloody
be nice.
Affair. Yeah. Just you mentioned that, and I wanted to point that out because I feel like a lot of people don't know that that's happening. Someone at work had mentioned it. It's like, oh yeah, every now and again I like to watch Kill Bill 1 and 2. I was like, well, did you know next month they're gonna have the Whole Bloody Affair? It's something that's been talked about for a long time now, and I'm like, oh, it's fine. And they're like, I had no idea. And I'm like,
yeah. I stopped checking the special previews. I think after the Halloween month, I was like, oh god, I'm like. And I checked Fathom, like, you know what? It's just fucking plays and animes, the same like 3 animes over and over again. Like, I won't be going to the movies again until Turtles 2 comes out in March.
Who would you like to? I mean, obviously, we're saving Tricops last, so Rock On or Frosta?
Let's go with Frosta.
All right. I feel like Frosta doesn't get talked about that much, so I'm curious what your thoughts are going to. Well, that'll play into the gimmick part. In terms of strength, how strong is
I mean, it's more about what she can do in terms of, that's her strength.
Yeah.
But because she can create ice, snow, a wide variety of ice, winter-related powers, I mean, that gives her a lot of strength. I'm not sitting there and say she can go, fisticuffs, because I think I'd say she could, kick a little bit of ass. I'm probably going to give her an 8 of strength.
Oh,
because
wow. Okay.
Because her ice powers is her strength.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of a tough one because it's like, in what way do we need to?
I mean, because we looking at Iceman. Iceman. Yeah. I mean, his strength. It's his gimmick. It's his special ability. That is what he uses in battle. Frost is the same way.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you would have to go a little bit higher, or at least match, sort of, in the roundabout way compared to.
I mean, a lot of the Princess Power characters that we had to be broken down that way. Glimmer and Cassiospella, their abilities is their strength.
Yeah, I guess that's what I was saying. Like, do we need to look at it in that way, or do we need to look at it as like how well would they do in hand to hand?
Well, I mean, we could do that if we're gonna look at that way. Like, I'd probably give Frost about a 5 if it was strictly like hand to hand combat, like physically strong. She's not picking up any rocks.
I think we need to go that way. I think we need to go that way with it because obviously when we work into the gimmick part of it, it's going to be higher.
All right. Then I'll give her a 5 for strength because she's not known for like being physically strong. But her looks, that's her looks or they outweigh that.
Well, it's not a beauty contest, Tyler. I am also going to give her a 5 in terms of intelligence.
She leads her people, so I give her a 9.
9. I think in terms of that, we're going like leadership qualities. I'm gonna kind of match that of Stratos and Tila both. So I will give her an 8 in terms of that. And then her speed and agility, endurance. That's kind of a tough one because it's like I don't.
Yeah. I'll probably give her a 5 for that.
But in terms of how hot she is, she's definitely a 10.
Oh, she's a fucking 11.
I don't have that on the scale. You broke the
Well,
scale.
let it be known.
Get on the scale. Get off the scale.
Yeah.
I'll give her a 5. And then in terms of her gimmick, the gimmick is obviously her. Other than her beauty, is her strongest.
Yeah, I give her
asset.
9. Absolutely. Yeah, she kicks ass.
I'm gonna give her an 8. I'm gonna go a little bit lower. Well, just because with Frosta, admittedly, I haven't seen as much of her compared to other characters in both just in animation and then in any other sort of media.
I got to get you to watch Sweet Bee's Home and Black Snow.
Well, and that goes out to everyone out there because Tyler given recommendations for episodes to check out. So
yeah, she's hot, and you get to see what she can do. You know,
all right,
she's hot.
I'll check those 2 episodes out, and I'll report back and let you know more thoughts on Frost.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, there'll be episodes that are. I mean, Sweet Bee's Home, everyone loves because she is overly flirtatious with He-Man, and He-Man's just.
But does James love that episode? Though?
He loves that episode too, but I'm like thinking like, yeah, Sweet Bee's cute, but Frosted like buries her, man. Like, He-Man, what are you doing? Like she embarrasses and makes him blush.
There's still time. Like there's plenty of time. There's plenty of ladies to go around for him.
I know, but man, I would make Frosted like his main squeeze.
Yeah,
absolutely. And they had Prince Adam Mac on Castaspella, and make him play like a Superman 4 thing, where he's got to be like in a double date. He's got to try and pull up in our date with Frosta, He-Man, Prince Adam, Castaspella. It'd be great.
That would be a good like tropey ass episode to do. Really. Yeah. Because you don't always think of the Flintstones when Fred's got a bowl, and then what was it? Was it a birthday party, or what was that episode? He had to bounce back and forth between the 2, or am I just like, did I dream that up?
No, I know that, and I couldn't tell you because I haven't watched any Flintstones in God knows how long.
I think there's an episode
outside of the crossover with the Jetsons. No episode like really stuck out to me specifically.
Yeah, I think it was just pretty much that one. If that does exist, I know there's an episode of Boy Meets World that does that where Corey and Sean have to be there with Frankie at ringside. That's the episode where it's like if Frankie's dad is Vader and Vader's got his big match with Jake the Snake, so they got to go help him out because he wants to. Because he's like a poet, and his dad Vader thinks like he's a wimp, and he's like, I want to communicate better with my dad. So they're giving him tips at the wrestling match, but then it's also like Topanga's Sweet 16 party, so they got to bounce back and forth between that. And I think that's maybe where I got it from, because I think Sean says a line of dialogue about it being like an episode of the
Flintstones.
Yeah. So, but you're on to something with that. That would be a fun little episode. It's like, oh, He-Man. He double booked himself.
Yeah.
How did he make this happen?
I had to run to the force and transform again and again and again. Oh my God, the Horde are attacking. What the fuck do I do now? And it's like, hey, I'm trying to bury my beak here, guys. Beat it.
Next to last, we have Rock On. So this one will be particularly interesting. I think it'd be kind of high marks all around for Rock On.
Yeah, and Rock On is a comic warrior. They kick all kinds of ass. So I'm going to give him 8 for strength.
Why not higher?
You know what? I probably would have to give him a 9. These guys are not to be fucked with, and I would never write him as pacifists because I think of Lifeline from G.I. Joe, and he sucks balls. What a pussy. And I'm like, I do not want to see the Comet Wars portrayed as a group of lifelines. He sucks, man. God.
Who sucks more though, Lifeline or Scoops or Scoop? Scoops? Is it Scoops?
It's Scoop. Yeah.
Who sucks more?
God, well, there's the $1 million question.
Hold on.
I will say, at least in a particular issue of G.I. Joe, Scoop goes on a mission with Stalker and I forgot who else. And they pretty much call him out. I was like, look, we're not putting up with your shit. We need you to be ready. And which I was like, okay, they're at least calling him out for what he is. He's a fucking cameraman. And then I think about how he's depicted in the Deke series. I think he's like an agent for Cobra at first. So because of that, but his action figure's got that Steve Guttenberg face. You just want to hit with a shovel. Oh man, dude. You know what? At least Scoop comes with a gun. So Lifeline fucking sucks, man. He's the worst.
All right. Oh man, you know what? That kind of gives me an idea. We need to do like obviously, I need to brush up more on my knowledge of characters within the GI Joe canon, but I think we need to do like a Kumite with GI Joe.
Oh yeah, that would be bad. God, I love that idea, man. A GI Joe Kumite.
Yeah, let's do that at some point.
Fuck yeah, man.
But I'm telling you though, like I really need to brush up on GI Joe.
Got to read some more of the comics, man.
Did you see that Volume 2 came out? I actually saw that. Yeah, that's out now. I actually saw it at Barnes and Noble last time I was in there.
Because I'm actually on site there. Like they actually had. Oh man.
Yeah, just as thick as that first volume too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I went in there because the Criterion 50% off sale is going on. So I went in there and just looked. I'm like, let me go check out this the Marvel DC trade section, and then once you get past those, and then they got like the other companies after that. Yeah, GI Joe was. I was like, oh, the second volume's out now. That's awesome. So
that's badass, man.
I'll have to get that and just fucking read all of them. Let's see.
Yeah,
see how that goes.
Then I just have to show you or just remind. And I will say like people could say like, well, Doc's a pacifist too. Yeah, but Doc is fucking cool, man. Like. I don't see Doc as just like the way Doc is portrayed in the G.I. Joe animated series. Like he's like cool, laid back, intelligent. When you see Lifeline for the first, like what you're doing is against my principles with his arms crossed like this, like one giant pussy. And getting like I forgot what episode it is where like a girl's crazy, but I'm thinking like Lifeline of all people is who you're crazy about.
It happens.
Fucking dumb.
There's someone for everybody, man.
I know, but. Like I don't like seeing wieners in G.I. Joe. I don't like seeing wieners in any of these properties, from Turtles to He-Man, Ghostbusters, G.I. Joe, Bionic 6, Brave Star. These are all a bunch of badasses, man.
Yeah.
Thundercats, no wieners.
Well, we're making sure that Rock On is not gonna end up in the wiener category.
No wiener. Now his intelligence, he's young, a bit he's not dumb, but I think he's very eager to jump into battle.
Yeah.
So, and Stondar is wiser, a lot more intelligent.
So are you kind of looking that in the way that like Tila being a little too rash to jump into stuff because of their young nature?
So I'm going to give him a 5 for intelligence.
Okay.
Yeah.
A good middle ground. I don't know enough about how smart Rock On is.
Well, and it's not like he's depicted like, I think about like in the Star Comics issue number 2, he's pretty much out of action the entire time.
Yeah.
He's captured in the Rock People episode of She-Ra. And then in the Rock People to the Rescue, like he's just eager to fight and think, and ready to, duke it out with the evil warriors. So I think about his bio, like that he's younger, and a little bit more like not stopping to think about like, hey, think first before you act, man. Yeah. Like I know he wants to fight and go kick some ass and be a hero and save people, but and again, there's probably maybe some UK stories that I would probably, not want to read. That James would be like, well, I'm telling you this story. He's like, okay, that's great, but you know what? There's a little bit of inconsistencies all over the place where the character again, is not portrayed consistently. Mm-hmm. Whereas Stondar is the leader of the Rock People. He's wise. But then they become, a group of lifelines. And like, this sucks, man. So, I'm going to give him a 5 for right now.
I think by default, just because I'm kind of basing more of this off the shit that you just said. I think 5, a good, safe middle ground spot in terms of speed, endurance,
it turns into a fucking comet, dude. So yeah. I'm gonna give him a 10.
turned into a fucking comet, dude. I mean, yeah, there's kind of no denying that, right? It's like,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. So far, we're tight on that. And then in terms of gimmick, I mean, that is a cool gimmick. He turns into a fucking comet, dude.
Turns into a fucking comet, dude. I almost felt like I had to give him a 10 for that because the guy can, fold into a rock, be disguised, can take off in flight.
Yeah.
And then bash the shit out of whatever he's, aiming for.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes him pretty damn formidable, man. Like the Rock Wars, why they are not more celebrated? I don't. It's like, oh, they're just trying to rip off trans. I was like, are you guys really looking at this correctly and properly? Or you're so quick to be like, oh, they're copying.
Yeah.
Idiots.
So actually, overall, that gives Rock on a total between us both. We tied again on a character that easy math on this one, 34.
Yeah,
which is still going to kind of put Rock on sort of like upper.
Yeah, well, I mean, based on what he can do, and Stone Dog will be ranked even higher because he's intelligent.
Yeah, because I mean that's really the biggest drawback here is the intelligence.
Yeah.
Part, and then finally, Tyler,
the crop, man.
Probably it got to be like I think for both of us the favorite of the 9 that we have here.
He's right there with Ninjor for me.
Yeah,
because I ever since, I mean, I can remember, man, Triclops was my favorite of the original Fab 5 Evil Warriors. Like I just thought he was the coolest. It's a visual. I just thought like he's human, but he's an ass kicker. He looks so imposing.
Yeah. And
then to learn more about what he can do and his introduction in the mini comic, it's like, oh boy, yeah, this is a top tier character. And unfortunately, it's not celebrated nowhere near enough as like Beastman and Trapjaw and Evil Land. Like they're always advertised, they're shown, they're illustrated. Triclops is always kind of,
that is kind of crazy to think about because I always think of Triclops as just original characters that you feel like you just always see in there, but it's not quite the case with him.
No, it's not. I mean, he is. James would even confirm of the original group of Evil Warriors, he's got the least amount of appearances. Trapjaw, Beastman, Merman, Evelyn all outrank him in terms of appearances, and he's pretty much just kind of there as like a henchman, and he doesn't lead his own episode.
Yeah,
he's not going out on his own doing anything. He'll go on. He went on his own with Evelyn and the royal cousin, but he's there following her orders. It's not like Merman's doing his own thing, or Trapjaw is like, hey, Merman, let's go steal that Eternium. Like they're not, or he's like taking orders from Mass, like Trapjaw is.
Yeah.
He just, and clearly a character, if you were to combine what he can do in Filmation and what he does in the mini comics, like, dude, this was the guy that, could be, right there, like Skeletor's top tier warriors in terms of intelligence and what he can do, and also be going off on solo missions on his own, kicking ass all over the place, dude.
Well, now
it's gonna be hard for me not to be all fanboy with this character, though, man.
Well, what would you give him in terms of strength?
I mean, in terms of strength, like this is a guy that I would consider one of the best swordsmen on Eternia, and clearly, and this is why one of the reasons I love the character is that the way he's depicted in Diamond Disappearance, where he is putting this chokehold on He-Man, and He-Man is struggling to get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
When you're making the most powerful man in the universe struggle to get out of a chokehold, you got fucking strength, dude. Fucking 9, dude.
Turns into a fucking rock, man.
Yeah.
Boy. Yeah, it's kind of tough to argue
you
that.
Combine that with how he's depicted in the mini comic, like he's a a strong. I mean, this guy that knocks the fuck out of Battlecat, takes out Tila, takes out Ram Man, and then takes on He-Man by himself.
Yeah,
I mean that's getting him over pretty strong.
Intelligence wise, he's got to be pretty.
It depends if you look at Filmation, he's not given like the best track record, but the mini comic. And he's not given a bunch of appearances, but he seems to be one of the more intelligent ones. I would give him an 8 for my own personal preference because of the mini comic,
right?
And how I would much rather. And then you look at MYP, he's the scientist of the group. The guy I was like, no, not scientist, but creating shit in a lab. Like, no, that's not Triclops. Damn it.
Not that I'm looking at the numbers and I don't have. I was gonna I was gonna give him a 7, but for whatever reason I don't have a red 7 on here. Must have accidentally deleted it.
Oops.
I'll just move that. It's close enough to red. I'm gonna give him a 7 in terms.
All right.
It's just kind of balancing out between the two a little bit, between the mini comics and Filmation. In terms of his speed, agility, endurance,
I mean,
once again, that's got to be pretty high up there as well.
Yeah, I mean, the guy. I mean, he's a sword fighter, physically, apt to take on whoever. I mean, just like I said, he's depicted as taking out Ram Mantilla, Battle Cat. You got to be pretty quick to do a lot of that stuff. And obviously his gimmick plays in that too, about being able to, see through solid objects using that gamma vision, the night vision, distavision. I'm going to give him a 9.
Going pretty high up there, as you stated. Yeah, I mean, he's kind of looking at the other characters that we have here. He's got to be pretty high up.
I just you know what, I'm gonna give him a fucking 10.
Okay,
I'm gonna give him a 10 for because I'm like, I want to put him right there with Ninjor, in terms of like what he can do, because you take in what his gimmick is along with his physical attributes, like it just makes him very formidable, in my opinion.
And then his gimmick,
love the gimmick, always have. 3 different visions. I mean, 10.
I think the only bummer about this, and I guess it would have kind of would have sucked, I guess, if you're looking at it in a toy aspect, but it kind of would have been cool if there was a little opening on the back, so when you're flipping through the different
that you could see through.
You could see through and maybe work it in a way where it changes a little bit differently. I don't know how you could kind of make
or
that
like
work exactly.
Like one side, everything's like it would look red, like gamma vision, or green.
Yeah.
The other one is like it has like a small like telescope in there, and the other one would be I don't know what you come up with. Like night vision would be like in red, like you're looking at things in dark, like it's at night.
Yeah, I think that would have just been
I was bummed when I finally got the figure though as a kid, that one eye looks like he's like surprised and shocked. Was like, this doesn't fit like what I was familiar with in Filmation, with like the 3 different shapes of eyes. These are just look like variations of an actual eyeball.
Yeah.
But what the character is supposed to be able to do, like, I think I love the gimmick. Triclops is my favorite over Trapjaw. People love Trapjaw, and I get that, but for what Triclops can do, and he is more human based and a swordsman, I give him a 10.
So it gives him a 10 for his gimmick. I don't think I can quite go. I'm not going to go as high gimmick wise. I'm going to give him an 8.
That's cool, man.
So there is round 2 of our power ratings. I should have made mention before that Ram Man and Frost were actually requests of 2 characters.
Yes.
That people wanted to see implemented in a round 2. So leave a comment for us down below and let us know who you would prefer to see the next time when we go around and do our power ratings. As I stated earlier, I will have an updated graph of everyone and how Tyler and I each have everyone placed. So those are the rankings for round 2. Before we kind of dive in into some other conversation, we'll be back right after these messages.
Feel the magic, hear the roar. The Thundercats are here. Thundercats, ho! A team of brave and bold superheroes with Panthro the Deadly, a master of the fighting art. And a little more. A master mechanic, Panthro is the builder of the thundering Thunder Tank. Panthro the Deadly, a member of the mighty Thundercats. Don't miss the action. Thundercats.
Weekday mornings at 8:30 on Super 55.
According to legend, little folk know Hills is where the toys are. Hills Toy Layaway, just 10% down, a small service charge. Lays away toys, little and large. Hundreds of toys. Express layaway too. So layaway's even easier for you. Remember, Hills Toy Layaway. One reason they're different and why they say Hills is where the toys are.
At low prices every day. There's something strange in the neighborhood.
So who are you gonna call?
Ghostbusters! Look, Sonic, we're cool. We got ghost zap. Let's find those ghosts.
Batteries not included.
Yeah! I'm no ghost, but he is. I'll project one too. Over here. We're being watched. Fire ghost zappers. Charge the high frequency. We ain't afraid of no ghosts.
Ghost Zapper Ghost Projector Guns, each sold separately. Ghostbusters, new from Kenner.
And we're back. So last week, obviously, since we had our technical difficulties, I imagine a lot of people, when they were watching the episode, probably fast forward a little bit and we're just like, oh man, it's still glitchy and whatever. So there's only one particular comment that I'm going to read on our Mystery of Anwar Gar episode spotlight that we did at NYP. Brian Clifton says, I really enjoyed this series, though I didn't see it all the way through until the DVD release. I still have on card a Prince Adam and He-Man. I love the figure design. So going back into that whole thing, like Tyler was all about it. I was all about it for a period of time, going out collecting those figures.
Yeah, my brother was too. Like he was into buying the majority. He was a big Triclops and Cyclone fan, so he was right there with us buying He-Man figures, which was like a fun time that my little brother wanted to be a part of that because he's never really been a fan of He-Man.
And it was just kind of difficult to, as we stated before, with the distribution issues of finding characters that weren't variants of He-Man and Skeletor, or just plain ass He-Man and Skeletor in general. So it was always exciting when you're sifting through all those and finally find a character that you didn't have.
Because I feel like back then, because some of them I was buying like on eBay, like it was people were getting them in advance. I'm like, man, I ain't waiting around for this. Like I remember buying Cyclone off of eBay. I remember you found Mechanic at Kmart in Withville and called and told me about it.
Yeah.
And that you got me one too, I think.
Yep.
No,
so
that
actually,
was one I didn't get to see in person, but it was awesome to like, oh my God, like he got it.
It was Walmart. It was the Walmart.
Was it Walmart? Okay.
Yeah, I was, and I was like so excited. But this was also at a time too where I had to wait until I got home to call you. It's not like we had cell phones really back then so much. Just I could call you on the spot and just be like, "Look what I found." But yeah, I to get that feeling again, that excitement. I wish I could go back.
Yeah, but. I mean, the convenience, like, look, I don't have to, worry about some dickhead who shows up at Target and Walmart at 6 and 7 in the morning because he doesn't work. And this is what he does, is go around trying to grab up all the good stuff and slap it on eBay so he can get a premium price out of people out of desperation. Like, I'm glad I don't have to worry about that shit anymore. Mm-hmm. But that hunt, fond memories of it. It was a lot of fun for many years, like looking for not just them, but Marvel Legends and Turtles and G.I. Joe and things like that as well for a time. But if I don't have to deal with those fucking Nazi scalpers, I'll take my chances with just get it online and not have to worry about their, those assholes.
Yeah, I didn't buy it, and I'll tell you why. I found the 2012 Shredder when I went into Target last Monday, because I went in there because I was off last Monday, and I was excited, and then I opened the flap and he was loose in there. And I started to kind of look around, and I was like, I think this has been opened and returned, and it looked like a couple of accessories in the back may have been missing. I could be wrong about that, and it could have just been a total defect from the production line. But the sticker on the bottom of the box looked like it had been peeled and then like replaced on there. So I didn't get it because I'm like, I don't want to take the chance of getting home, opening it up, and then it turns out like something's like totally broken on them. So, and then I noticed too on Big Bad, like they're all sold out now. So I was like, oh, okay. Maybe they'll get a restock, or I'll
you're better off just doing that. I'm sure some dickhead bought it and returned it, so he's like, I'm gonna take these out, I'll make some shitty custom.
You never know. But I feel like people don't really, I don't know. I feel like NECA figures don't get customized as often.
Nah, it tends to be I don't know. I don't like. There was a time I did enjoy people doing customs back in the old He-Man.org days, because there were people who did some really good jobs with customs. I was really impressed, especially when there was no He-Man toy lines going on at all. People were willing to make customs of like new He-Man figures. It was really cool to see that.
Yeah.
And what we didn't get in 2000X outside of a bunch of shitty variants, some people took it upon themselves. Like I even did some customizing back then because I'm like, hey, if they did that, I can do that too. And I didn't go there, oh, look what I did. Give me some credit. Suck my dick. I just did it for my own personal benefit, for my own collection. I was like, I was pretty proud of what I did because I did stuff that didn't require a lot of, tearing the figure fucking apart and just
what did you
all
do?
the shit on there.
What'd you do?
I took Ice Armor He-Man, painted him ice blue, and then took the hood off a Wraith from Lord of the Rings, painted it white, and draped it over Ice Armor He-Man and made Icer.
All right.
So I painted his skin. All these skin parts were colored in ice blue. I mean, well done. The face, painted the eyes white, and instead, how Icer has a hood. I was like, I'll give him like this kind of draped hood, and it looked pretty damn good. I thought. I think that of all the customs I did, I think that was probably the one I was the most proudest of.
And I'm imagining this is in storage still. Like you still have it, right? Or
yeah, it's in storage. Yeah. I didn't get rid of it or anything like that because I only did, I think, I made Hero from Battle Sound He-Man in the gold variant, and I took Gandalf's cloak from Gandalf the White, painted it red, and gave him, and then painted He-Man's hair brown, and then took I forgot what staff it was. Maybe it was Gandalf's like staff too, because I was like, I'm not gonna be able to create like Hero's staff, but I made my own version of Hero through that, which looked good. Okay. And then I took the ninja variant of He-Man and made Ninjor out of that.
Okay.
So I painted and I took an idea from what someone had done on He-Man.org. Like they paint it, and it worked good because it's like this big dragon on that variant. Paint it red, paint He-Man's skin red, paint red gloves, and I painted his eyes white. And I took some cloth from a shirt I had, like black cloth, and just wrapped it around and made like this hood, So very, very primitive, but based on what I saw someone else do, I'm like, I'd like to try doing that, and that was my only, just because I'm like, what, we're not going to get these other characters, like why not create my own with these variants I really don't give a shit about.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, man, you got like multiple of them anyway.
Yeah. Still got
so even if it's like, oh, I fucked this one up. Oh, well, I got one mint on card. Let's just go ahead and crack it open.
Yeah. I think too, like the Ice Armor was just the one that I had on display. I was like, you know what? It's a variant, and it looked pretty good, I thought.
Well, I mean, hey, I never knew that. I don't think you ever made mention.
Well, I mean, I kept it to myself just because I'm like, no one else is going to care about this. And if I went on the boards back in the day, people were like, we don't know who you are, and you only got 2 posts, man. Like, who the hell are you, man? Like, because it's based on how many fucking posts you made and shit like that. So I just kept it to myself, like I did with everything else with my love for He-Man. Like, no one cares, So I was just like, I did it for my own personal passion, not for validation from others.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting to hear new shit about you from that time period.
Yeah,
that I didn't know about. I mentioned last week that I was in this marathon stage of watching all the James Bond movies. I've made it a little over halfway into Roger Moore's run now, and I gotta say, like, Moonraker is as shit as everyone says it is. I still enjoyed it. I still had fun watching it, but it's dumb. It's like, all right, Jaws falls in love. Like, why? So that ranks towards the bottom. It's next to last for me, though. Dead last is still Diamonds Are Forever, because I just thought it was really boring. But interesting enough, that is James Eatock's favorite Bond movie.
Is that that was the last Connery film of the initial run, right?
Yes, yeah, that was the last canonized Connery film. Yeah, where they're in Las Vegas, and which it was cool seeing, like, Las Vegas during that time period, because it doesn't look like what you think Vegas as is today. Like all those buildings did not exist back then, but it was just so fucking so boring, and Connery just, he looked like he didn't really want to be there. Like, it was still kind of there, but at that point, and I get it too. It's like you're 6 movies into this whole thing, and they tried to get another actor, and he didn't want to do anymore. Which actually, that movie is, I really enjoyed, because Majesty. I have a hard time saying that word. I tried to say it last night, but On Her Majesty's Secret Service. I like that one a lot.
Really?
That ranks pretty high up there for me, especially for like that downbeat ass ending where it's like, oh, he gets married and then she gets shot.
Oh yeah.
So I think some people probably think that movie's a little too boring, but I think that it's like the best looking one around that time. Like, the cinematography in it's really great. So the downbeat ending though, just really, I was like, fuck, all right, yeah, let's end it to where it's just depressing. But Roger Moore overall, Moonraker aside, like, I've enjoyed him quite a bit. So much so that The Spy Who Loved Me is actually sitting at the top overall.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I like that one a lot. The Man with the Golden Gun, I talked with you a little bit.
Yeah.
Briefly, but Christopher Lee, I think, is what elevates that and keeps it up top. But I like Knick Knack. You just hear him. It's like you're thinking of Fantasy Island. It's like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, so he's great. And then Live and Let Die. You got the voodoo aspects in there. It's like,
that's the first one, isn't it? That's the first Roger Moore one, isn't it?
Yes.
Is that the one Jane Seymour's in?
See, I've watched so many of them that they do kind of blend together. So I think
it is. I think it's the one Jane Seymour.
Yeah, you are right. And that, once again, that elevates it because Jane Seymour.
Oh my God,
she
still looks hot.
Yeah, she's like, how old? She's
in her 70s, I think.
Yeah,
and she still looks like making bucks, man. Like,
yeah,
and doesn't look like overly obvious work done to her.
No, not at all.
She's just taking good care of herself, and I'm sure maybe because everyone says, "Well, they had to work." Well, I mean, I look at what Cher looks like at her age. She's clearly had a shit ton of work done. Dolly Parton's had a ton of work done. Tina Turner, I think she may have had some work done before she passed away. Mm-hmm. Raquel Welch looked great. Mm-hmm. Up to a certain point too before she passed away. Like, you always see like unflattering pictures where they're like, ooh. But Jane Seymour still rocking, man. Like, God,
timeless. But Live and Let Die, having like being in New Orleans, having some of the voodoo stuff in there, and then like the soundtrack having that 70s like blaxploitation bits in there. I was like, man, yeah, it's like hard to deny. I've really enjoyed Roger Moore's run.
I'm surprised. I just have always had this like, I look at him and he seems too posh and like as.
So that's kind of the thing. For as good as his movies are, it's like much like our power ratings here. When I'm looking at him in fight scenes, I'm like, this ain't it. Like, he doesn't look right in that role. I think he works in the aspect of like that suave ladies man part of the character, but when it comes to the action aspect, I'm like, all right, he's not as good as Connery, but I feel like I'm enjoying Roger Moore's movies as a whole overall compared to Connery's.
Wow.
So, and I don't know if that has more to do with the fact that the majority of his run has taken place in the 70s, and I have like a softer spot for that.
Maybe so, because I know, like, movies back in the 60s tend to be a lot more slower paced.
Yeah. But, I mean, From Russia with Love and Goldfinger, I love. Those are sitting 2 and 3 on my list right now. So I'll just kind of go through the top 10. So The Spy Who Loved Me is number 1. Goldfinger, number 2. From Russia with Love, number 3. On Her Majesty's Secret Service, number 4. Timothy Dalton's License to Kill coming in at 5, which I think Timothy Dalton's probably like the best of Roger Moore and Connery. Like, he's got the ladies man suaveness to him.
He's a badass. Like,
and he's a badass. And he just has that look to him it's like he has that sexiness to him, but he's
an alpha male. Timothy Dalton.
Yeah. So License to Kill, number 5. Number 6, The Man with the Golden Gun. 7, Dalton's other movie, The Living Daylights. 8, Live and Let Die. 9, You Only Live Twice. 10, Thunderball. 11, Dr. No. 12 Moonraker, and then Diamonds Are Forever. So I have For Your Eyes Only, Octopussy, and A View to Kill. Yeah, left for Roger Moore, and then it's on to Pierce Brosnan. Which I think GoldenEye is going to be high up on my list because I like that movie a lot, but yeah. I think we'll see how Tomorrow Never Dies shapes up and how the others fall. I don't see myself particularly being like, these are the best, but it's probably still be better than Diamonds Are Forever for sure.
Well, and it makes you feel like, where you're going to rank, because, Tomorrow Never Dies, World Is Not Enough, and Die Another Day. Like, Brosnan did 4 Bond films, right?
I thought it was 5.
GoldenEye, Tomorrow Never Dies, World Is Not Enough, and Die Another Day.
Is it?
Because World Is Not Enough is the one with Denise Richards and that really hot girl, too. The other really hot babe. They're hot babes in all of them, but this one particular girl, I forget what her name is. Gosh, she's just breathtaking in that movie.
You're right. Yeah, it was only 4 Brosnan movies. I was thinking it was 5. All right. Well, there that is. Honestly, I think the one I'm looking forward to rewatching the most is going to be Casino Royale, because I really like that first.
Yeah, that movie fucking rocked.
Yeah.
Except Eva Green, she sucked.
Yeah. I'm not looking forward to rewatching Quantum of Solace. Skyfall, I enjoyed it when I watched it back then, but I think now that I'm gonna, by that point, I've watched all the other Bond movies. I'm curious to how I'm gonna feel about that one.
I still need to see that, Spectre, and then the last one. My dad stuck with it well after I lost interest, and he enjoyed Skyfall and Spectre. I remember in particular. Yeah.
It's crazy seeing other people's rankings because it's kind of all over the place.
It's kind of one of those fun things. Like I'm not a Bond connoisseur, but I've often flirted with the idea of trying to dive into these movies. Except the Roger Moore one. I just looked at the guy. I'm like, I cannot picture this guy kicking anyone's ass on any level. Even there's hot women and cool villains in them. Yeah. I'm just like, man, I look at him he just looks like someone who'd be, he looks like a waiter.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yet he is so celebrated. People have their preferences, but he is oftentimes held in high regard as a great Bond.
They're good movies so far, really. Aside from Moonraker, because it just gets the first hour of that movie, I'm like, all right, this isn't as bad as people say, and then that last 45 minutes or so, when it's we got to go to space, it's okay. And then Jaws is there, and or he falls in love, and then he brings the girl with him up to the fucking into space with him. I'm like, what the fuck? What is going on? No, James Bond does not need to be in space. So it just falls off the rails from that point. But yeah, I still enjoy it. It was still entertaining, but I was in a dumb way. I was like, this sucks. But that is the current ranking for.
No one says this sucks better than you, man.
So we'll see how it goes for the remaining. Gosh, how many? 1, 2.
You got three more to watch.
10, 11, 12, 13. Got 14 more Bond movies to check out.
God, that many?
Yeah. There's 24 of them, 25 of them.
God, so
you got
3 of the Roger Moores to watch still. You got all 4 Brosnans, and then all the
5
that
Daniel Craig
did.
Yeah. But since they leave Prime Video here in a week, I went ahead and picked up the big set on Blu-ray.
Was that all? It was a Blu-ray. It wasn't the 4K set.
No, the only thing that's out on 4K is the Connery movies. Just came out not a couple months back, and then
some of the Daniel Craig movies are on 4K.
All the Daniel Craigs are on 4K.
Yeah,
you can get a collection of those for, I think it's $50 some. But I was like, for the money that I'm spending, and because I think obviously I don't want to own all of these on 4K, but I think a few of them, especially when the Roger Moore ones get announced, I'll probably pick up.
Yeah, just pick and choose the ones,
Yeah,
You're not going to get Moonraker on 4K, are you?
No, fuck no. No, Moonraker, I don't see myself ever really rewatching unless it's a thing where I see on TV, or if Emily wanted to watch Moonraker, I'm like, all right, I'll watch it for you, so you can experience how shit.
Has she had any interest at all, like, wanting to sit down and watch any of the Bond movies?
Well, I mean, a lot of it too is just where our work schedules are different. The only time we would get to really do such a thing would be on weekends. And I think she's seen a few of them prior. Like, I think she's seen a couple of the Daniel Craig ones. Obviously, she's probably seen some of the Brosnan ones, but we haven't really talked too much about Bond. So I think it's just kind of like a passing interest.
Yeah.
I'm just like, nah, I'm okay.
That's okay.
You watched Teen Wolf yesterday.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I just had this Jones to watch it, and boy, I hadn't watched it in a couple of years. Like, God, this movie is so fucking good and enjoyable.
You like it when that dude takes his dick out of his pants at the end and
dude,
shakes
that's a woman. That's a woman.
Is it?
It's with the zipper down. It's not a guy. It's a woman. It's been debunked. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's been debunked for a while now, but for a while, like, you see it like on the VHS or on the DVD. Yep, it's someone's got their pants zipper down, and you see the underwear there, and they're actually kind of covering it up if you watch a little closer, but it's a woman.
Oh, all right. Yeah. I haven't been kept up to date on it. I just always know it's like, oh yeah, some guy like lets his dick out.
But I remember as a kid, I think about how boggled my mind was. I didn't like the first Teen Wolf. I didn't take to it, even though as a kid I loved looking at the VHS cover of 1 and 2. Because I watched the cartoon back in the 80s before I saw either of the movies. And I just looked at Teen Wolf. I was like, okay, there's a movie. But I saw Teen Wolf 2 first, fell in love with it, went back and watched the first one, didn't enjoy it.
Man,
nowhere's near it, because I thought the love interest Booth was like, she's not hot. And I didn't take to basketball, which is ironic.
Yeah.
And I was not a fan of the Rocky movies because I didn't like boxing, but I love Teen Wolf 2 because he's boxing and kicking ass. My mind was like, I couldn't look. I look back and like, why the hell did I think the way that I did like that? But then I grew to like Teen Wolf 1. It's definitely the more superior film, but what a blast with a fun soundtrack, and Michael J. Fox is so much fun as Scott Howard. Booth is an amazing love interest in the movie. And it's a fun cast, a fun film, just classic good 80s comedy that just is still relatable today. And the wolf effects look great. Michael J. Fox in the wolf outfit looks awesome. Even though you clearly tell when he's playing basketball, it's a stunt double during most of the basketball sequences, of course.
Yeah.
But it's a very charming movie. And I'm like, I need to sit down and watch the second one too. And everyone shits on the second one. Even Jason Bateman shits on it. I'm like, why? It's no different than the first film. It's almost as if like they pretty much were thinking Michael J. Fox was going to come back, and the last minute he's like, I can't do the movie, or he chose not to, and because the movie's clearly set up as if Michael J. Fox was going on to college, and because his dad is there, now it's just we'll just make him the uncle, and Chubby's there, and Styles is there, but it's not the same Styles. It's a different guy playing Styles, and it's still it's a fun movie. I don't know why people just. Of all the movies that come out of the 80s that are considered cheesy and campy, that people are just, carrying the torch for and sucking the balls of, Teen Wolf 2 seems to be like, oh God, like, why is that shit? And then you guys look at some of the other movies that people love to fucking celebrate and act as if like, okay, why is that no different than what I like with Teen Wolf 2, I love the song "Who Do You Want to Be Today" by Oingo Boingo during the boxing montage. I actually rewind that because I thought it was like, this is so fucking cool, man. It's badass, man. Beat the shit out of everybody. And "Send Me an Angel" plays in it too.
Hey, that's a
boy.
Yeah.
When I saw that as a kid, like, "Send Me an Angel's" and it's the Wizard.
I haven't seen Teen Wolf, and
I would love to hear your perspective on both Teen Wolf films. Like just going back and like looking at them, like, if you're like, no, these movies are dumb. These don't hold up at all.
I think I have both of them on DVD, but I can't do that. So I'll see if it's streaming anywhere.
Well, the first one's on YouTube for free.
Okay.
And then Teen Wolf 2, I think the only place you can stream is on MGM, or if you have to buy it on YouTube to watch.
Well, it looks like I guess this is Shop Factory put out a collector's.
They did. There's both versions. Oddly enough, I have Teen Wolf 2 in that. I don't have the first one. So It's currently sitting in my Amazon basket. So hopefully when I get paid this week,
All right.
once bills are all caught up, I'm gonna buy him and Werewolf by Night from Marvel Legends in the same basket. So I'll get a
Okay.
werewolf collection through Amazon.
Well, tell you what, I'll because I like to take some breaks between these Bond movies because you mentioned like Jane Seymour's in that one, right? I was like, they all blend together.
I don't remember.
I have to think about it.
Just
It's like
Somewhere in Time instead.
God,
You and Emily are assholes for shitting on that movie.
That movie sucks, dude.
You two suck balls. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, man. That's a
so
heartbreaking movie.
No, it's so funny when he gets sucked back into present time.
And that's like, oh my god,
that face that he makes. Where he's like,
what do you mean that face? Like, oh, whatever. And then she's like, leaving hot Jane Seymour in this black void. Like, this is fucked up.
Nah, yeah,
I'd be lovesick too.
That movie sucks. But anyway, I will take a break between Bond movies. I'll probably actually do it because we have Thanksgiving coming up and Black Friday. Time to go shopping. I'm not going to do that, though, because Black Friday shopping, not what it used to be.
No.
Unless Walmart and Target are going to roll out, hey, here's some physical media. Like, I might take a glancing look, but it's probably
last few times I did that, like,
it's bad.
Shit worth buying.
It's bad. It's basically, if you go to Target for that anymore, all they put out is just, oh, these are the movies that came out this year. I'm like, well, I don't want most of that shit. And that kind of puts me on a real quick tangent of Fantastic Four First Steps, man. Better than Superman, but equally disappointing. Like, I loved the aesthetic. I loved how everything looked, except for when they went up to Galactus, because instead of doing like Kirby style and making it like a little trippy, they just had it like industrialistic looking. Like, it just looked like dark, murky metal. And I'm like, no. But aside from that, I loved how everything else looked. But just that central story of, we got to revolve this around Baby Franklin. I'm like, no.
Captain Feige should be fucking fired.
They should have just done like a Mole Man story, and Mole Man was wasted in it too. Like, I love Paul Walter Hauser, but he did not need to play Mole Man and be like, they just like humanized him too much. It's like, yeah, I'm underground. I can take these people underground when Galactus shows up. So he's like, in there.
That's what he does in the movie?
Yeah. It's
he's
very
depicted as a villain?
No, not really.
Oh, fuck this movie, man.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's brief. He's in there. He's in there not a lot. And he's kind of there in a montage when it's talking about how the villains at the Fantastic Four is like, oh, Red Ghost and all this stuff. And it's just like little bits of mention, show a little thing, cut to the next villain, do it. And I'm like, they should have centered movies more around that instead of jumping straight to Galactus. But if you're going to do that, don't revolve it around Galactus. Sees Franklin as his successor. And yeah. He was like, yeah, that's why I want him. And they're like, you can't have him. And then,
my God.
Yeah. And then the people were like, oh, well, did you defeat him? It's like, no. And it's like, well, then what's going to go on? And it's like, well, he offered too high of a price. And they're like, what was it? Our son. It's like, give him the fucking baby. And they're like, we can't do that. And I'm like, yeah, what are we doing?
That movie fucking sucks balls, man.
Yeah,
man, that told me a lot. When you're telling me it was bullshit, I'm like, okay, Nathan's more lenient about movies than I ever will be. And when he's telling me that, I'm like, I'm probably dodging the biggest bullet of the year because I really wanted to see it.
Yeah,
but a part of me is like, I think this is still going to be Disney-esque, where they're going to cut the balls off the Fantastic Four and not make them what they need. Which I'm like, again, another Fantastic Four movie that just.
It sucks to say it, but I would much rather watch that first Fox film with Jessica Alba and Chris Evans and Michael Chiklis.
Which it ain't a horrible movie.
It's not horrible, but I would much rather watch that than First Steps. And it sucks, like, because I love I love that it's a period piece, like we mentioned. It's like, oh, it's taking place in the '60s. Like that's awesome. I love that. But like the central story just really, I'm like, no, we didn't need to do that.
No, and again, and you made it something I have often found so much frustration for years. Like, why, when Marvel said they're going to make their own movies, like, we're not going to, have to worry about studio interference. Like saying, well, I don't want you to be true to the comic. I want you to make this shit up. Man, I want a giant explosion with an octopus at the end of it. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Well, I don't care. I don't care about your comics. I care about my fucking idea. I figured that was the whole point of them. Like, we don't have to worry about studio interference. Some dipshit executive says, like, I don't like that. That's not, what I want to see. And they could just take what the comics were. I'm losing my train of thought here. Why they feel the need to, like, we don't need to honor the source material at all. From DC and Marvel, they're both fuck the comics. We're gonna make up our own shit. We're just using the IP, and ignore. We'll take a speck of a story that fans seem to really like, and just build this really crazy, dumb as fuck story around it that people are gonna shit on. And sit there and say, oh, it's because you guys don't have modern sensibility. That's why you can't appreciate these moderns. No, fuck you.
So it was
what a piece of shit.
I liked it better than Superman, though. So that was.
I wasn't going to see Superman no matter what anyway.
But Tyler, you have my word. Probably maybe on like Thanksgiving or Black Friday, I'll watch Teen Wolf, and then. Maybe I'll just blind buy Teen Wolf 2 because I don't think I've really seen Teen Wolf 2.
Really?
I don't think. If anything, maybe I probably saw bits and pieces. I was like, oh, is this Teen Wolf? And then I saw it was Jason Bateman. I was like, yeah, okay. Turned it off. So maybe that was the case. But you have my word that I will at least watch the first one since it's readily available.
First one's a wonderful movie, dude.
Right,
it's so much fun. And I'm like, man, honestly, I'd rather watch that than Back to the Future. Back to the Future is a fun movie. Don't get me wrong, but I'm like, if I was going to pick between the two, I'd pick Teen Wolf because they're both the two big Michael J. Fox movies that came out in '85.
What about?
I'd go with Teen Wolf or Teen Wolf every time.
What about old Doc Hollywood?
I never. I don't think I ever saw all of that movie, or if maybe I'm thinking Life with Mikey is what I'm thinking of.
I think
played like that agent for kid actors.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever saw Doc Hollywood or The Hard Way.
I don't remember much about Doc Hollywood at all, but I do remember my parents renting it. That's about the extent of that knowledge.
I remember seeing the trailers for it as a kid on TV and seeing it was available to rent at 2 Thumbs Up Video. I just didn't reach out and rent a bunch of his movies as a kid. I enjoyed watching Family Ties as a kid, but and I'm like, oh, it's Michael J. Fox, but I was not renting his movies at all. Like the Back to the Future movies, it was a long time before I saw any of them.
Man, yeah, I like the Back to the Future movies quite a bit.
There's nothing wrong with them. Yeah, I don't have that. I probably wouldn't put it in my top 100 movies. It's a good movie. It's a fun film, but I feel like I've just never quite understood the fanfare that it gets for something that creates nothing but problems in the movie. There's nothing but issues and problems with the time travel. There's nothing to enjoy about it. It's just constant paranoia. The fact that Leah Thompson's playing a hot mom hitting on his son, like it's kind of like this kind of, awesome, risque,
You're right.
I can't help it because it's Leah Thompson. Yeah. And Crispin Glover's great in it, and I mean it's a fun movie, but the concept is nothing but a pain in the ass.
Yeah. I mean, you've never really been too big on like time travel movies.
No,
anyway,
I'm not. If you can't go back and enjoy, being back in time, as opposed to like, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. Like that's like it's not the whole movie, but that's what the premise is set up. Like you have to get your parents together, otherwise. Your sister, your brother, and you start disappearing. You were never born. You never existed. It's just like, it's, I don't know.
I can think of one time travel movie that Tyler does enjoy. That is Time Chasers. Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. I fucking love Time Chasers. That guy could use Chinderwear. But what about my hockey hair?
Watch some Mr. Science Theater, everybody. We will go ahead and we'll wrap this up, Tyler. I will make sure I get Teen Wolf watched.
Yeah.
Tyler recommended a couple of Filmation episodes early on. Go ahead, check those out. I hope everyone enjoyed our round 2 of Power Ratings. Looking forward to doing round 3 and seeing what characters we have. As I suggested before, leave a comment down below. Throw out characters you would like to see in round 3 if you haven't done so already. Like this episode and subscribe. And until later, let the power return.
So where's the fucking bourbon?
That is A Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
How about that? Nathan got it there.
Warriors, yeah.
I wasn't going to have to pull out the, you like my body, Jerry?
You like my body. If I ever get an opportunity to meet Robert Englund. I'm going to get him to sign my Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors poster, and that is the quote I'm going to have him write. Where's the fucking bourbon?
Oh God! Or I like, who gives a fuck what you think?
Yeah. We had that on our stinger during the Halloween episodes.
Yeah. I hate that we got fucked out of meeting him too. We were so damn close. Like at least we got to pass him in the hall, or he passed us in the hallway.
Yeah.
You know.
But yeah, I mean, his lines are always just because he. I mean, it's
he
great.
Takes time with his fans. He appreciates his fans. He's not a Tom Savini.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's not a prick.
Did Tom tell you that he met Tom Savini?
Yeah, and then he was, an asshole.
Yeah, it went exactly as planned. I was like, yeah.
He eats shit. And why the fuck does he keep taking all these bookings if he doesn't want to talk to anybody? And like
cue the Vince McMahon.
The word we get around is like, hey, you're gonna give this guy $30 to kick you in the nuts? Because that's what he does.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I have a signed Sex Machine photo with.
I gave away my autograph to, was it Beavers, who said he would.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, fuck it, man. I was embarrassing to walk up to that guy, and he just doesn't even want to look at you in the face or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's all about, are you a girl? Can I fuck you? No.
Yeah, I love his work, but as a person,
even then I don't give a shit. It's just it's like,
cold
what an
cow.
Asshole. Yeah. See him in documentaries or his interview. Yeah, he's 4 out of 10. He's just why it's just like, why are people still going to this guy to get autographs if the reputation is he does not like to talk to guys. If you're a woman, he'll treat you like like he's getting ready to take you upstairs and fuck you in his room. But
I don't
know.
I don't know. We'll have to ask him that if we ever go to another con and he's there.
I'll just flip over his fucking table,
We'll leave you guys with that one. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thank you for your time, everybody.
Nobody. The correct answer was C. Nightstick scissors, 2x4. Oh! Axel Jim Duggan. Oh! Boom, boom. No, nobody gets the 20 points.